This will be the segment 3 of my 2 cents of Iraq. A lot of talk has been happening about the current situation with Iran and its nuclear policy, whether it's a good idea, bad idea, legal, within its rights, etc. Personally, I believe that we signed a treaty with Iran stating that if you're going to make nuclear power facilities and use it for power, then go ahead. We signed the treaty of the United States signed this treaty, so it's kind of really odd that we're going back on that treaty that we signed. People will say, well, terrorists can get a lot of weapons and they can make nuclear weapons. And what's the point? If Iran makes a nuclear bomb, then what? So what? What constitutes you saying that's a horrible thing? If they use that nuclear weapon, or terrorists use that nuclear weapon, like I've said before, we will retaliate tenfold. So it wouldn't be, it would just give us the people of America would not stand for a nuclear attack in Israel or America. It would just be a huge mistake, even if they had nukes. And the whole problem with this whole Iran thing is that North Korea has nukes. Not if, or they might make things. No, they have nuclear weapons. And that also puts another, wrench in the gears, that terrorists, if they wanted nuclear weapons, would just go to North Korea to buy it. Think about that. I mean, would it be that hard for someone like North Korea that desperately needs money, and someone that came up with a lot of money says, here's your cash, we want a nuke. So that throws everything out about this Iran thing. What else? I just honestly think is that because Iran is so set against Israel, that's the only reason we're even remotely looking at Iran. I mean, we've got China, we've got North Korea, we've got the communist Filipinos, and there's and the drug lords in South America. There's so many other bad people in the world that are doing a lot worse than Iran is, and all of a sudden we care that Iran wants to make nuclear weapons. You're shitting me. The Russians can't even keep track of their own nuclear weapons, let alone, know who sold it during the collapse of the Cold War. That was the biggest thing. Do you think that no terrorists don't have nuclear weapons? You're out of your mind. Think about it. Russia, is missing nuclear weapons. It, probably sold nuclear weapons, or at least chemical and biological weapons, to everybody that it could once the Kremlin fell down. Yeah, I mean, they were just up for sale. So I want anyone to debate and tell me why would it be a good idea to go into Iran. Anybody. I mean, and people say, well, the last wars have been for oil, but we boycott Iran oil. We're the only country that does that. We boycott it. So, oil, whatever. Basically, people say it's for weapons, it's for oil. It's for Israel. Think about it. It's for Israel. Israel wants us to get rid of the Middle Eastern countries because it's a threat to Israel. That's my 2 cents.